All right. Hi to everyone joining us on YouTube. And you're most welcome to share questions on YouTube as well if you're joining us from there. Our team keeps an eye out, so we'll take your questions on from there too. All right. Okay, all set. Everyone ready to dive into today's call? Good evening, everyone. And we've got a very interesting conversation coming up because our expert in the house is Veejay Israani. And the technique he's presenting today has helped over 2,000 people in just 2 years. Yeah. The program debuted in 2020, and it is so powerful that sometimes it has taken people just one session to be healed. It's one of Vijay's hottest programs, one that focuses on healing the 5 key organs in order to resolve anything, whether that's your health or your relationships, or something that you've been struggling with emotionally. It could be any of these 3 things. And the interesting part of it is, of course, that how fast and how wonderfully it works, but also about how he's going to share with us today how relationships, emotions, and health are interconnected through our organs. Yeah. Welcome to the Mystic Lotus awesome Love and Health Tele Summit, Veejay. What an interesting concept and technique you have here. Tell us a little bit more.
Thank you, Ruchira, for that beautiful introduction. And welcome everybody. Good evening to everybody here. Yes, so what I've got for you all today is Neev, as you might have seen. It is called Neev the Roots. So what is Neev the Roots? You might be quite inquisitive to know about it, isn't it? So,
yes.
So let me, can we start with a couple of questions, Ruchira? Directly get into
we can, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What would you like to ask?
So I would like to ask people here, and of course the answering platform is the Telegram, as everybody knows. How many times have you found the same pattern in relationships repeating again and again? Probably a tussle which you have had with your loved one, and maybe that tussle repeating after a while, after 2 months, 4 months, 8 months down the line, and that same thing keeps repeating always with one person. So let's take one person first. With the same person on the same subject, you keep on having a tussle and a relationship issue or a relationship discrepancy.
Okay. And Vijay, just to clarify, do you mean, when we have the same fight over and over again?
Absolutely.
Like, I remember with my ex-husband, it used to always be about money. It was the same fight again, and it would just come up in different ways, but the fight and even the conversation used to be the same. Even the lines, the dialogues, I think, were almost always the same. So we've got somebody from the audience. Meeta's sharing that same issues going on for decades, but with different people.
Yes. So that would have been my second question, but could you answer the second one first?
All right. So, of course, we'll go ahead, Vijay. Let's ask them the second question as well. And
so the second question is just an addition, or just to continue from the first question. Do you find the same thing, you having a relationship discrepancy, and the same thing carrying on from one relationship to the other, or a similar thing going on in multiple relationships, probably 2 relationships, 3 relationships, and things like that?
Okay. Preeti's actually shared as well. She has she has same issues with me. Money is a constant issue with my husband. It's the same problem, same fight. I think she means as well.
Yeah.
And of course, Meeta already mentioned that.
Where are the others?
they're coming in. We'll give them. There's a little bit of lag I've noticed between us saying something on Zoom and then people listening and then responding on Telegram.
Okay.
Suneet says cleanliness is an issue that keeps coming up again and again. It's the same. The fight is on that every time. So, Vijay, does it matter what the topic is?
It doesn't matter what the topic is. Uh, if you look at it primarily, it is what is happening again and again. And when we talk about it, when we look into healing any of our aspect, and there are many people who have been healing these things or who have been looking to resolve these things through their conscious mind, even though if it is not through healing, through different methodologies. Now, the thing to understand is, till the time we don't reach the roots, the same thing will keep repeating again and again, and it is going to go on to different domains of our life, different aspects of our life. Let me just take you into a story to start with.
Okay. Before you do that, Vijay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll just mention a few more things that our audience has mentioned here. Yeah. Dorothy says she keeps dating younger guys and then they leave due to like family issues. It seems to be a repetitive cycle. Lakshmi's also, I think, agreed about either money or cleanliness is probably a repeat, is a constant point of conflict. Meeta's mentioned that emotional dependency is another thing that seems to be a cause for clash. Sunit says after 25 years of marriage, cleanliness is still carrying on. Even after 25 years, the fight is still the same. All right. Sorry, Sunit, we're laughing, but sometimes the only way to, I think, deal with these conflicts is a little bit of humor. Okay. Back to you, Vijay. You were telling us a little bit of this.
Yeah. So let me take you into a story, and this is, of course, a story. It is a real incident that happened. There was this lady who was actually facing a lot of issues in the back.
Okay.
Now, as she was facing issues in the neck, shoulders, and the upper back, she went to a physiotherapist and she did quite a few things. She took different treatments to heal that particular thing, and it could not. So what happened? There was a temporary relief, but then over a period of time, this pain, not just this, came up again. It also expanded or extended to the lower back and the hips. And at one point of time, it became so difficult for her that she could barely walk. And it is then that she got into a particular session with a particular healer. And there she found out that the lower back pain has actually emanated from the upper back pain and the shoulder or the neck pain.
Okay.
And this actually had happened quite a few years back. She had actually extracted a tooth. And because the tooth was not extracted properly, there was some nerve which had got damaged or something had happened there, because of which it affected the neck and the shoulder and the upper back. And since that was also not treated, it extended to the lower back and then to the hips, and then the whole body was kind of done. So that is what, till the time we don't reach the root causes, till the time we don't reach the roots, till the time we are just playing around with the symptoms, not much is going to happen. The only thing what can happen is psychological happiness, but then the same thing happens again and again in a loop. So if this loop needs to be broken, if you really need to come out of that particular situation, be it health or money or whatever it is, you need to reach the root cause. And it is only when you reach the root cause can there be a change in the situation. And in fact, the situation coming again and again is just a message from the universe that this has not been healed. And that is what Neev is all about. Neev is all about taking you to the roots and healing that, so that it not just gets healed, it also does not recur back.
Okay. So, Vijay, you did mention that you traced it back to a nerve that was damaged for this person. Would it go any deeper than that? Would the problem be any further than that, or was that was the root cause?
So this was the root cause as far as the body was concerned. right? So we live in different states of consciousness, right? So of course, when you look at it from a different perspective, you can say that is karma, that might be XYZ things, but this is just an example which I gave you to for you to understand, for everybody here to understand that the roots are somewhere else and we are trying to heal something else,
Okay.
right? And that is very important.
That's true. And I understand now what you mean, because you would never associate back pain with a tooth problem. You would never think that those things are interconnected, and that's what needed to be solved, and that was expanding further and further and becoming a bigger and bigger issue. That's quite interesting. So tell me, Vijay, there are times when healing fails as well, right? Why does that happen?
So yes, healing can fail on the face of it. So if you look into it, actually healing never fails. Healing is divine. Whatever healings, I've seen people, they get into, okay, is your healing powerful than this healing? Is X healing powerful than the Y healing, or the Z healing powerful than the C healing? It is not that. It is basically, if you're able to reach the root cause, if you're able to reach what needs to be healed, you will be healed. The inability to reach what needs to be healed shows up as the healing has failed. So many people feel that, oh, the healing has failed or the healer has failed. It is not the healer or the healing has failed. It is just because either probably the healer or probably the client or the prospect, they have not been able to collectively reach to the root cause, as to from where this has started or altogether. So it is like you're just around kind of trying to change the fruits of an apple tree. You're trying to imagine, like trying to heal the apple tree so that mangoes come on that particular tree. But then if something needs to be done, it needs to be done at an internal, at the root level, isn't it? And that is where when you reach the roots, then healing can never fail. As it is, healing can never fail, but then it is about reaching the roots, which is important. Let me share with you a couple of real life examples. There was a lady, and she had actually got in touch with me a couple of years back in COVID. Now, this lady, she was going through a terrible relationship, and a very bad relationship with a person, and then with her husband as well. Now, she had spent at least 2.5 lakh rupees, and this is what she has actually confided in me. And this was much later than after we started the process and she got healed. She had spent 2.5 lakh rupees doing an X healing. I will not name the healings and all, doing an X thing, a Y thing, and a Z thing and all, and wasted around what 1.5 years. Okay. And after that, she actually came back to me and she said, will my problem get resolved? Will my relationship issue get resolved? And when she got into the sessions, in I think the third session itself, she was able to detect from where the relationship problem is coming. And she was able to resolve this by the end of the 4th or the 5th day. And then there is a testimony also, which should be there on my website as well. So, and just 6,000, 8,000 course she did, the session she did with me, and she got resolved, which she was not able to do by spending 1.5 years and 2.5 lakh rupees. So it is basically, we again come down to the same thing. We need to reach to what needs to be healed. And that is, in my opinion, more important than the healing. Because once you know what the problem is, or from where the problem has come, automatically your inner being will take you towards the solution, isn't it? But till the time you don't know what it is, you're just kind of firing arrows all over.
And you're hoping that something will
happen. And then you say, oh, I have put so much money, I put so much, I wasted so much time, and then things have not worked out.
And it's also the biggest issue that happens is you've been spending so much effort, you think, and you still don't have results, and you
lose hope,
struggling.
and you lose hope,
Yeah, exactly.
So there was this couple also who had come. Now, this couple was not able to, they were not able to get a baby and a child. And then they had also done quite a few things in the medical thing, and also some healings and all, but then nothing happened. So when they came to me, so while the consult was going on, I asked them whether anybody in your father's side or your mother's side have faced such a problem. And came the reply from both of them, yes, my chacha or someone, my uncle, he doesn't have a child and they were not able to deliver a child. And then from the mother's side also, from the lady's side also, she said that there is an aunt who was not able to. So immediately I told her that this is an ancestral pattern. Till the time we don't heal the ancestral pattern, things are not going to work out. It is just about, you will just be around playing with money, playing with yourself, playing with all your emotions and things like that. Let's get down into breaking these ancestral patterns. And only once you break these can things happen. So these two examples, these two real life things which happened, these give us all the more validation that till the time these roots have not been reached, things are going to be the same. We are just going to change the heads. We are just going to put money. We are just going to put time, energy. We are just going to lose hope. And the same thing will keep on repeating.
There's a question, Vijay, from our audience. What happens when there are multiple issues?
Hmm. What happens when there are multiple issues?
Yeah.
There are multiple issues.
Meaning, do you look at each issue, the root of it, or are there sometimes multiple issues that could have a single root cause?
It can have a single root cause also. Yes, okay. Why not? For example, just today I was there in a business forum, and there was a person who's changed his business 5 times in 5 years. And the same person was also going through a lot of course, a financial issue also. And that is the reason why he changed 5 businesses in 5 years. And then he was also going through a lot of health issues, which he was not able to resolve. So 2, 3 things were happening. And then it was a business forum wherein I couldn't speak much about the healing. But then as I spoke to him, I got to know that these issues, they stem down or they come out from the ancestral domain. And when the ancestors, when there is an ancestral problem, that person will always keep on changing the business and he will not be successful. So he will keep on changing the business, or he will keep on changing the job profiles time and again. So this had one root, and then it stems down into all the aspects of our existence, be it health, money, relationships, our mental, emotional states, whatever. So it can be either ways, like it is all case to case basis.
Okay. So how does the Neev approach heal relationships?
Okay. So relationships, there is one thing which we need to understand in relationships is that why relationship problems recur or why they come again and again. Relationship problems, they recur because there has been no completion in the past with that particular person. When there is no completion, when you have not completed, or in mediumships, when we do mediumships, when they contact the soul and where the soul who's passed away, then they say, oh, now there is a closure. So till the time the relationship, there is no completeness in that, till that time, that particular discrepancy will keep happening again and again and again. So it is going to every time ring the bell and it will tell you, I am incomplete, please complete me. But what happens is that people are so much into the B and C loop. So the B and C loop is the blaming and changing loop. That we always look into blaming the other person. Oh, he did this, and that is why this thing is happening. Or what they do is that if they feel that they cannot blame much now, all the blaming has been done with, they change that particular person or the partner, isn't it? But then it is when you're even changing the particular partner, if you're not resolved with the previous partner, the same traits are going to come down into this particular person. Let me give you another example as to, there was this lady, around a 50-year-old lady, who had come to me for consultation. She said, I want to do tarot card. And she came to me. So she told me that I'm carrying on with a particular person. She was in a live-in relationship with a particular person.
Okay.
And she was really confused whether to marry this person or not, because it was sometimes a person was really nice and sometimes he was actually not that good. And it was an abusive relationship at that time, abusive exchange of words and things at that time. So she told me, what do I need to do? Do I need to marry this person? Can you take out tarot cards and tell me? So I told her, wait, just tell me what's happened to your husband. She said, I'm divorced. So I asked her, why did you divorce?
Mm.
She said, because my husband was very short fuse and used to get angry. And then we had a lot of arguments and incompatibility at times and things like that.
Mhm.
I went a little back still. I asked her, how was it with your father? She said, don't ask me how it was with my father. My father was also a very angry person and used to always dominate me and things like that. So I told her, and by now everybody must have understood where I'm coming to. I just told her, set right relationship with your father and set right relationship with your ex-husband. Automatically, you will get the answer as to whether you need to marry this person or not. The universe will answer you. You will not go to any healer. You will not pick up any tarot cards. They are not going to answer you in totality because things keep changing time and again. You just look into what is happening because you have left the relationship with your father incomplete. That incompleteness got manifested into a husband who was a challenging person for you. And because that has also been left incomplete, that is being manifested into this particular person now. And if you do not heal these previous relationships, it is then that this is also going to turn up into a similar end. She said, yes, I see so many traits of this person, of my father and of my ex-husband in this person, in this particular person. So she got the answer. So what I'm trying to tell is that A plus A is equal to 2A. A
Mm.
plus A is not equal to B. But we all have that myth and all the stories around us that, or for that matter, to be very precise, an incomplete person plus another incomplete person, I plus I is not equal to C. Two incomplete people cannot make up a complete life.
Okay.
I plus I will always be 2I. That means if there are two people who have left their previous relationships incomplete, the relationship between these two of them will always remain incomplete. And that is why the discrepancies in these people always, the same things keep on repeating
Mm.
because they have not completed from the previous relationship or the previous incidents from the same relationships. And only once they do that, can there be completion, can the relationship be healed. So it goes that deep. And once we understand this from a correct perspective, it is then that the actual healing can start. Otherwise, only the trials and errors will kind of go on.
So, what you're essentially saying, Vijay, is that if you've gone through like a breakup or a divorce, or you are going to, if you don't heal that previous relationship, and heal meaning that you, what do you mean when you say heal that previous relationship?
Completing the previous relationship. So
What does
it
that
is,
mean?
so, okay.
Because sometimes I don't think like Lakshmi is. I've seen Lakshmi's comment already in the group. She says, "What if we don't want to go back to the ex and
No,
set things
so yeah,
right?"
yeah, yeah. So good you brought this up.
Hmm.
What I'm trying to say, I am not trying to tell you that you need to go back to that particular person.
Hmm.
What I'm trying to tell you is that there are two people. For
Hmm.
one relationship, there are two people.
Hmm.
For example, if it is me, in my workshops, I take up somebody as a buddy and then I give their example, but here I cannot, so I pick up myself. So if it is me,
Hmm.
my relationship with my wife,
Mhm.
for example, is not the relationship which is outside. If I'm comfortable with my wife inside,
Mhm.
automatically outside there is a comfort, right?
True.
So we need to understand this thing in proper perspective. So
Mhm.
it is not about the external thing. So if you have separated from a particular person, it is not that you go back to that person, particular person and you say, oh, I just attended the Tele Summit by Vijay and he said that we need to complete it. So let's sit down and complete it, whatever had happened between the two of us. And let's, no, it cannot, you cannot complete with a conscious mind. It is a subconscious process wherein you need to go within yourself, and it is just a one person game. Let me tell you, it is not that you need two people to set right a relationship. You need only one person, and that's the beauty of the processes, of these processes. You need just one person to set right relationship between two people. And I have umpteen examples, testimonials, experiences to the same effect, right? So you need not go to that ex-husband and resolve. You just internally have a closure with that. There is a process. That is a process which we take people into, and you just close it. Externally, it all depends on you as to how you want to deal with that person. Either you don't see his face ever again, or you be with him on speaking terms, or you go back to him. That is totally your choice. But what I'm trying to tell you, that completion is an internal process. It is not going back to that particular person. It is resolving the grudge, the hurt, or whatever residue is left of the other person, the resentment, anger, all those things which are there within you of that other person, to heal that particular thing. Because only when that is healed can a space be created for a new relationship. Otherwise, the new relationship will come in that particular space only, and he will also become that. Right? So that is what it is. So it is not about the physical reconciliation. It is about the spiritual releasing.
Okay. And of course, there are some very clear processes that you use to do
Yes,
this.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I hope, Lakshmi, actually that answers your question as well. Your question was my next question, so I'm glad that you put that. Dr. Sheila Tilak says, wonderful, Veejay, about your explanation of these things. Okay. So what are these processes, Veejay? I'm curious now that, okay, I understand that you've got to have that closure, and you've got to settle things. And like you said, set it right. I really like that concept of, it's not set right till it's not set right, basically. Tell us a little bit about what are the processes, and you've got two, three beautiful processes, even in your program that we are sharing today. Tell us a little bit about these.
So the processes they go very deep, and they work at a level wherein you go back, you go back in the time space, you go back to that particular incident which had happened for the first time, for the second time, for the third time. You relive that and relieve that. That is called the RR method. When you relive that particular thing, now why we need to relive that? Because we have not lived it completely the last time. We have escaped it the last time. Whenever we have a tussle with anybody, in Hindi, we say, okay, jane do. There are 2-3 people who come and they say, oh, let it go, jane do, chhod do. Yeah. Okay, you leave it. Physically, you move away. But it is always there in your mind. It is there in your consciousness. You just carry it with you, isn't it? So it is that particular part, that is the charge or the residue of that, which is coming again and again, because it is there in your consciousness. As you move on, it is also moving on with you. It is also moving about in your consciousness. So one day, as it comes at this part, it is going to strike you. When you see a particular person who is speaking almost the same way in which that person used to speak, immediately you will go back to that point of time, and then you say, oh, you will connect. Yeah. The mind connects you to that particular. So it is reliving that particular incident, completing and coming back in real time here. And that is how you relieve it. So it is completing of all those things with that particular person. And once you complete, then you become a clean slate. From there, either if you want, you go back to that particular person, if you wish to. If not, then you go and catch hold of any other person you want. And live happily ever.
We're not catching hold of people.
Yeah, because if you see in the external world, it is isn't that what is happening? People, they break with one, they get into with another, then they get into the second one, then they get into the third one, and this goes on in a loop. Very little they realize that they are just in that BC loop, just blaming and changing, isn't it? So till the time you don't get into it and you don't clear the very first person with whom you had this discrepancy, from where it is carrying on, till that time, everything is going to be the same. The faces will change, the name will change, but the trait and the energy will always remain.
Okay. In fact, Veejay, I want to ask you another thing. Does this type of issue also impact our workplace relationships? And I'm going to ask you about also health. This sort of pattern constantly happening, repetitive patterns or repetitive issues. We have one person here, Jitendra. He mentioned that he really resonated with what you were saying. And he says, regarding in my work area, especially, this has happened a fair amount where he's, invested a lot of money, time, effort, tolerated a lot of things, been in very challenging situations. And it's been continuous since, he says, since about 12 years. How does, is that sort of a situation also possible? Is it possible to clean that sort of situation as
Why
well?
not? Why not? See what happens. I had a person who had attended a workshop, and then he said that all the jobs I get into, I am not in good terms with my boss.
Hmm.
And they fire me, and then they do this, they don't treat me properly. And the same thing was being repeated.
Hmm.
So we got him into a process. And in the process, when he came, he resolved with all the previous bosses. There were around 5 or 6. He changed 5 or 6 jobs over the last 20 years or so.
Mhm.
So he resolved with all the bosses. And then he was absolutely starting with a clean slate, wherein he shared after a couple of months that now the current job where I am in, I'm feeling so much comfortable, and there are good relationships between me and the boss. So you need to
Oh, wow.
resolve it, go back, resolve it, and then that
Move
gets healed.
forward.
It does not get healed with only that one particular person. If it is a pattern, you need to heal with all the people, because just because of the incompleteness of the previous person, you are carrying on that, multiplying that incompleteness into this particular current boss, right? Or the current colleague, whatever. That's how it is.
Interesting that you use the terms clean slate, Vijay, because Sunit has asked the same question. How do you clean the slate?
That is in the processes. When you get into the processes, you will get to know, and then you will clean the slate. You will get to know, and you will get a technique to clean a slate with each and every relationship.
Okay.
And so much needs to be cleaned, actually. If you get down into it, you will get to know, oh God, there is so much, and so much needs to be done. But then it's a beautiful process once you start it, and immediately as you start cleansing, just at the end of the first, second, third day, you will so light. Oh, till today, I've never felt so light, because it is all these things which we carry, and then this goes on further to get compiled into the negative energies and things like that.
True, true. In fact, let's hear from Manisha. And I'm going to ask you a little bit more about how this works in the health area. And Sunit, we are going to also discuss a little bit about the processes when we share the details of the program. So hang around for that. And you're going to get a taste of the processes as well, because there are a bunch of demonstrations that Vijay is going to take everyone through. So hang around for both of those things. So I'm going to quickly check with Manisha if she's here, because I want to hear from her. She's experienced this on both levels, so both health as well as relationships. So I'm just going to quickly check. Oh, there we go. Hi, Manisha.
Hi, Ruchira. Hello, Vijayji. How are you?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much, actually. I wanted to first and foremost thank Mystic Lotus. It's an amazing platform. I've had amazing experiences, and I know Mystic Lotus through Neev Kapoor, who's super awesome, who's helped me amazing. So I wanted to say that I actually participated in the 5 organs healing session with Vijayji. And when it was, when I received the email with this, it just really resonated with me. And I bought this package. And, it was for the heart, lungs, liver, spleen, and kidneys. And I don't have a spleen. So, during COVID, etc., I was sort of trying to make sure that I stayed healthy. I did a lot of Qigong, which I've done, always, and I've done in the past acupuncture, Tai Chi, reflexology. So when this program was there, I really resonated with it because speaking from experience, I live in London. So speaking from experience, with relationships and whatever we go through in life, I'd stored a lot of anger and, guilt in my organs, my liver. this program, this session was just super amazing. It was nothing like I've ever experienced ever. The healing was amazing, and the tools that we were given, like the master keys, in my opinion, are gratitude and forgiveness, because we store all emotions in our organs. And we had a beautiful process, meditation, and then we were given a 21-day process, daily process. And what I've noticed, I did it like probably a month ago, I think. I used to suffer from a lot of fatigue. I feel so energized, mentally and physically, and I can get a lot done. And then from this, I also I had a private session, personal session with Vijayji, and then I bought the Samruti package, and one of the offerings was the life transformation in this. And I had heard, on the call, so many wonderful experiences, but until one experiences oneself, you don't know. It really was a super awesome 1 week. And I tell you, the things that we learned, and the processes and the meditation, you really I feel my life has transformed, because like Vijayji was saying, we have to deal with the root causes of everything. And, our relationships, with, and you actually go through the process of healing relationships with your ancestors, with your parents. I mean, it was a very, very deep process. So for me, I've had amazing, experiences, and then again with Samruti 1, and the next one is starting next week. And so I've had an amazing experience, positive, and I would really, really encourage all the listeners to go for this package, because it's not just a superficial healing. You actually go through the root causes, and it's very deep, and ancestral clearing and gratitude and forgiveness. But it's a process which, Vijayji explains, and you're left with the tools actually to really resolve these, and then, go to the next level. So I've had amazing positive experiences. So this is what I'd like to actually share.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Manisha. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really amazing, Vijay. Of course, one of the key things that Manisha mentioned was the 5-organ healing. So would love to hear a little bit about how this is connected to everything else in the concept of roots, in the concept of Neev.
So yes, this 5-organ healing, the Chinese wellness and the Chinese astrology, and they say that the 5 organs, that is the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the liver, and the kidneys, these are the energy points of your whole health, of your complete body. If these organs are completely healed, you are in good health. If you're not in good health, that means there is a discrepancy or some blockage in any of these 5 organs, although it might not be visible at the physical level initially, because it is at the auric level. And interestingly, very interestingly, these 5 organs, they hold the 5 major emotions. The heart stores the nervousness. The spleen stores anxiety. The lungs store sadness. The liver stores anger. The kidneys store fear. So if you see our own existence, if you see at the body level, these 5 organs constitute to good health of the body. And if you see our emotions, these are the 5 major emotions everybody and anybody will go through at all points of times. At certain point of time, sometimes you will be anxious, isn't it? It happens once every 2 days, 4 days. At some point of time, you get angry. Every day, every 2 days, you get angry on someone, or some incident comes at us. So when we are getting angry, or when a fear is coming into us, it is affecting directly our kidneys. And because the kidneys are being affected, it is attracting more fear. So the law of attraction, we all know that, isn't it? So it is a vicious loop. So healing these organs is when we heal that through a certain methodology, it is healing these organs, not only heals these organs, it also heals the emotions. It also heals the emotions it is holding. And it is such a huge relief after you go through the healing of these 5 organs. You really feel so fresh, as Manisha must have. And there are so many testimonies around which people have experienced that we feel so fresh. We feel that a huge burden has actually gone off our body, from our mind completely. So the 5 organ healing is basically healing of the health, but these are the energy points which we to which we target and we heal. So that's what is the 5 organ healing.
So I do want to ask a little bit about when you mentioned that, and Manisha mentioned this as well, that you go through forgiveness, you go through gratitude, elements like these. Vijay, we've come across a ton of different methods to do forgiveness, to do gratitude, etc. How have you constructed this process? What is the process that you apply here?
So when we talk about forgiveness, it is forgiveness only.
Okay.
But then when we do the forgiveness in the session,
Mhm.
it is actually forgiveness. So what happens is that very sadly we have been taught to say sorry in school, but we have not been taught to forgive.
Mm.
Right. And the same thing happens with gratitude. We are taught to say thank you, but then we just use it as etiquettes, isn't it? We have not been shown how to offer gratitude. How many of you see parrots?
Parrots.
How many of you see
Oh,
parrots?
oh, it's mango season, so I see a lot of them now.
So everybody here who see parrots stand for gratitude. If there is a parrot which
Oh,
comes in your balcony, if there is a parrot you see on your terrace or around you, it is an indication from the universe of gratitude.
ah,
So when we talk about
how
gratitude,
beautiful! How
yeah.
beautiful!
So there are these animal spirits, they help us in our journey. So it is the parrot which stands for gratitude. And there is a story behind it, of course, that is in our workshop. But then I just remembered that, so I shared that. So when we talk about gratitude, when we talk about forgiveness, it is not about the gratitude that when things work for you and you say, "Oh, and thank you," it worked. Anybody for that matter does that. Anybody, everybody on this planet, when things work for them, they say, "Thank you, God, you helped me," isn't it? But
Yeah.
when we talk about gratitude, actual gratitude is for things which have not happened for you,
How do you
is
say
for,
that?
yeah. So this is to be experienced. And only once you experience, you evolve, you grow, you raise your vibrations, you taste what actual gratitude is all about. Because the state we are in today is survival. We are in a state wherein mera ye kaam ho jaye, so I will be happy. My this work, if it gets over, this problem gets solved, I would be happy.
Mm.
But the universe says you have to be happy as and where you are in the current state. Because till the last breath of your life, you're not going to get into a state wherein everything has been settled. Everything, all the aspects of life are settled, isn't it?
Mm. True.
So be happy where you are. And of course, gratitude is, and forgiveness is also not just saying sorry or not just doing the contemporary forgiveness which we have in which we have as a myth, which we are carrying as a myth. It is about actually releasing this. And the most important thing about the process is that you should get results when you do it. It is not that you just keep doing it and just for the psychological sake, oh, you do it, if you're not done, you do it more. No, the results are seen immediately on this first, second, third day of the sessions. And then you feel, yes, what I'm doing, it gives you validation that, yes, what I'm doing is right. I am on the correct path. I'm doing the forgiveness in the right way, in the right
Mm.
manner.
Mm.
So that's about it. That's about forgiveness and gratitude.
How wonderful. How wonderful. I love the way you explain, Vijay, that the true gratitude is also for all the things that have not happened as yet. Perhaps. And like how I could see that, the way you said, when you truly experience it, then you know it. And that's so true for so many things in our life. When you finally experience it, that's the only way to truly know it.
And that's what, when you experience, it becomes your reality, isn't it? If
Yeah.
today I tell you, you believe in this God, You will
Yeah.
say, why should I believe? I believe in an X God. Why should I believe in this Y God?
Yeah.
But if there is this Y God or Y person who gives you an experience,
Hmm.
you yourself from the inner self, you say, yes, I believe in you. So belief is not about trying to say that you believe. Belief comes through experience. The faith comes through experience. The surrender comes through experience. And when you experience that this particular forgiveness, which we are talking about, is working for you, then you say, yes, this is the process. And with that process, you heal one, two, n number of relationships, and you keep healing them. There are so many things which need to be healed, and you keep healing them
That's true.
as you go on. Yeah.
That's true. Um, Dr. Sheila Tilak says, okay, she's asking, I see parrots every day, what it means. Dr. Sheila, what Vijay mentioned was that parrots are an indication of gratitude, gratitude from that the universe is sending you an indication that there is a lot of gratitude around you. Is that right, Vijay?
Absolutely. That you have to be grateful for things.
Wonderful.
Parrot comes with a message, have gratitude.
Vijay, V is asking, I have a question after doing the session. Do we have to do it regularly on our own so as to not get into that same vicious cycle again? Is it a process that they have to do on their own as well, continuously, like in the long run?
See, you need to do a process till you become that process. Right? So today, if you're doing forgiveness, so you do forgiveness, and there are so many people now. People might say, oh, I keep forgiving. I listen from 1 year and I just let it out from the other year. But between the 2 years, it is the huge mind, the brain, which is saving it, storing everything, isn't it?
True.
And so all these things are not possible. It is just running away or escaping from true reality. So it is, when you start doing forgiveness, you will come to know that there are thousands of people you need to forgive. And when you start doing it with 1, 2, 3 people, and when you start getting results, you will say, yes, now there is an X person I forgive. There's a Y person I forgive. I need to flush this Z out also of my being. I cannot carry, because then you get accustomed to living a life from a higher consciousness. Then you yourself don't want to carry these people on your shoulders. And then you say, yes, I'm going to do it. And as you go on doing it, the process becomes faster. As you start forgiving 2, 3, 4 people, for the 5th person, it will be all the more easier. It will be all the more faster. And this will go on till one day you become forgiveness. Till one day it will be like, okay, yes, an incident has happened. Somebody has hurt you, and you forgive and you move on. And that is the true forgiveness. But that happens once you go through these processes and you become that. With experience and with practice, you become that, and you will absolutely enjoy, because the peace, the lightness in the body, we say we are a light body, isn't it? The lightness in the body, once you experience that feeling is totally different. I cannot explain that here. It is to be experienced, actually.
Wonderful. Vijay, Vidhi is asking, forgiveness is fine, but still the sourness for that person remains. So what is actual forgiveness? I can forgive a person, but I can't be friends or love her or him because of the experiences. What is to be done there?
The fact that you say that the sourness is remaining, that means the forgiveness has not been done. Forgiveness is for the sourness. Forgiveness is for the grudge. Forgiveness is for the hurt with that particular person. And of course, as I mentioned, you did not go back to that particular person. And we cover this in our workshop. But since this question is put up, now in our workshop, I say very clearly, if there is a girl who's walking down the street and there is a person who is eve teasing or who's trying to behave smart with her, isn't it? So it is the choice of that girl either to show him off, to call the cops, or to just ignore him and go away. So whatever the girl does, that depends on the traits. There are people who are aggressive, there are people who are soft. So that depends on that particular thing. But the thing which I tell you is do forgiveness and move ahead, so that you don't carry that person always in your head wherever you go.
Okay.
The way you want to behave with that person externally is totally up to you. If you feel that that person is worthy to come back into your life,
Mhm.
welcome him back into your life, but with a clean slate. But if you feel that that person is a negative energy and you don't want to see his face again, whatever has happened has happened. Now you need to clean all these things.
Mhm.
Then do forgiveness. And when a true forgiveness is done, the incident, you cannot wipe off that incident because the cellular memory is always there. But the charge of that incident,
Mhm.
that goes away. And the charge itself is the karma. The charge itself is the thing which is not allowing the relationship to clear off completely. And we
Okay.
are concerned with the charge. We're not concerned with the person at all.
That's that's I think the most essential thing for us to remember. We're actually not concerned with the person. It's the charge that is still remaining with us.
Because your healing is about you,
True.
right? When you let off, when you forgive that person, you are clearing your own consciousness, you're clearing your own self, you are yourself becoming light. Whatever
Yeah.
that person does later on, or whatever he feels, that is not your domain, isn't it? We are concerned about today. If you're going to fall down, if there is a car which comes and dashes you, and if you're going to fall down, you're not going to kind of run after that person. First, heal yourself. First,
Yeah.
cure yourself, then run after that person, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
first
True.
thing you need to do is heal yourself.
That's very interesting. I love the distinction you made over there with that it's the charge that you want to resolve for yourself, that you want to clean out for yourself. It's not to do with the other person at all. That's really, really, I think, clean. Vidhi's asking, some relations need to be there throughout the life as they are I think she means baggage. So can't choose not to see the face, but the sourness comes back in that scenario. So that's again the same thing, right?
I've already answered that. Yes.
Yeah, that you that's
Some
basically what
relationships
you
will
mean.
always remain. I had a person doing a workshop.
Mhm.
She had uh, it was relationship with her father. Now her father, because of her father, and she shared with me the whole story. I cannot on a public platform. Because of her father, the son had means her brother had committed suicide, and
Oh.
the whole family blamed him for that. She did not talk to him for years together, and she moved away from the house also. You know what? When she got into the sessions and when she did the actual forgiveness,
Mhm.
after many years, after around 5 or 6 years, she met her father. Both the father, and she had done enough forgiveness. Both the father and the daughter, they hugged each other,
Mhm.
and they were like crying. And I have a video testimonial of her also. I cannot share it here on a public platform. So what we mean to say that there are some relationships which are there for life. You
Mhm.
cannot escape those relationships, but
Mhm.
you can certainly heal what had happened at that time, because everybody is human. We
Mhm.
must have also committed blunders, isn't it? In
Mhm.
our this life, in our past
Yeah.
lives, and there
Yeah.
might be people. If you really get down into doing that, there is a machine which is called lie, 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 such, jhoot, jhoot. That's a machine you have. When you
Mhm.
put that machine, then you start speaking the truth, and you get to know with that. It's
It's
shown
like a
in
lie
movies and
detector.
yeah, exactly. So, so when you put that lie detector on probably that relationship on that person, you will
Mm.
get to know that that person is also bugged off, probably more than you are bugged off on him, isn't it? So everybody has their own reasons, everybody has their own perceptions, and life is like that. The thing is that we need to resolve this, we need to release this rather,
Mm.
and move ahead.
Mm. Okay. So the Dipanita had also shared, Vijay, saying, though I try to forgive people and I thank them for the lesson I have learned, but I'm unable to forget their doings. And that keeps coming back again and again. She's also added that I see doves very often and I hear them all the time. Does that mean something?
That means embrace love in your life. And the simple reason again, that if that particular thought is bugging you again and again, that
Mm-hmm.
means the forgiveness is not being reached. Probably the methodology needs to be changed, or probably you're not doing it correctly, or whatever. I can't comment on that because I don't have an experience of what she's doing. But then definitely the forgiveness has not been done. And that is why that incident is coming back and bugging us too.
Okay. Okay, so I do want to leave some time for the demonstration as well. Vijay, we were discussing, in fact, about the 5 organ healing and how that works in the health scenarios. You have a beautiful health healing technique that you'd like everyone to experience here today. So I'm going to just mute myself and hand over to you. um, Okay, we have a lot of birds that people are seeing. Got a comment from Humi who says, I saw ducks yesterday for the very first time. All right. We'll get back to you later. And if anyone else has seen any other birds and creatures, do share and we'll get back to you later on what that means. I'm going to hand over to you, Vijay. It's a beautiful healing. So I just like, do they need to prepare in any way?
Nothing. Just sit in a comfortable position. This is going to be a silent healing, of course, and this is a taste of Buddha healing, which I'm going to give you. But it is going to be a silent healing because I cannot play the music here. And if I play the music, we cannot have it live on YouTube. So,
do you like to tell everyone a little bit about Buddha healing? And then we'll get into it.
I would like you all to experience Buddha healing. Now, this Buddha healing, when I talk about, this is not about Lama Fera. I have not done Lama Fera. Now, this is something which is like an ancestral gift which came to me a few years back. It was like for around 2 months, 3 months, my hands, they used to vibrate a lot. Lot of vibrations used to happen in both the palms actually. And for 3 months, actually, I was like, kind of, what is happening? I don't know what. And I don't know, something was telling me that just keep hand on someone and release this energy. So one day I spoke to Kavitaji, my mother, and she said, probably this is some kind of a healing which you're getting. And I connect to Buddha a lot. So then I got my first case wherein a boy who was down with trauma, he was locked indoors for around a year or so, year and a half, and he tried a lot of psychotherapy sessions and things like that, shock sessions, and I don't know what they call it. But then he was not able to come out of the trauma and all. So all of a sudden, this lady came to me and she said, I want to do healing for my son. So I took up a 21-day healing this thing, and then I used to just connect with Buddha, and through a methodology, I used to keep hand on his head. Within 4 to 5 days, the trauma got released completely. And this guy who was from 1 year, 1.5 years at his house, not going out also of his house, he started going to school, cycling, then they got a pet and things like that. So yeah, so it started actually from that. And so this is like a divine gift which has come to me. It is nothing like I have learned it from somewhere. So that's it. The most important thing is that it needs to be experienced.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. So everybody just close your eyes. And this is the generic health healing I'm going to give to everybody. Now with this health healing, you might feel nice. When we talk about health, it is also all about the mind and the body as well, isn't it? So some of you at the end of it might feel really relaxed in the head. You will feel really light. You will feel like my mental chatter is actually gone and you are in that silent state. And some of you might really feel that the pain in a particular organ or some part of the body is actually got released or reduced or whatever. Right? So I don't know how the healing has its own consciousness, and I don't have a particular intention as to this should happen. But wherever the healing has to go, whatever it has to do for you, it will do. Right? So just let's close our eyes and keep your eyes closed till the time I tell you. There will be no activity. There will be no sound. I'm not going to give out any kind of messages or anything of that. So the only thing is that in the background, I'm going to heal you. Just see that you're in a quiet space where nobody disturbs you. Very simple. Right? So just everybody close your eyes. Relax yourselves completely. Take 3 deep breaths. And focus your attention. If you want this healing for any particular health issue, focus your attention on that part of the body. If you're looking at this as a generic healing, then don't do anything. Just sit down, keeping your eyes closed as it is. Don't think about, consciously try to think about anything. There will be silence for a few minutes. So just be where you are in your own zones, and I'll prompt out when to open your eyes. Slowly and steadily making little body movements. Very slowly, and back to your normal state. If you feel like, you can have a glass of water.
Thank you so much, Veejay. Thank you for that. Yeah, I did feel very thirsty. In fact, before you said it, I sipped a bit of water already. I'll just ask our audience as well, once you've come out of it, when you're feeling ready, do share with us on Telegram how you're feeling. Lakshmi's on just posted. Vijay, thank you so much. This is, Vijay, a part of one of the techniques and processes that are there in your 5-organ healing as well, right?
Yeah.
So I'd love to know, and I know that we're going to take everyone through the details of the program as well, but I'd love to know what the connection between this and the connection of, so even if I don't have a problem with, let's say, my spleen or my lungs, how does this help me with my health, with my relationships? How does the 5-organ healing help me to heal all the rest of it?
So the 5-organ healing, as I mentioned, the Chinese wellness says that the 5-organ healing is, the 5 organs are everything to health. They are the energy points of your body. And when we heal these 5 organs, of course, I'm healing the 5 emotions as well. So these emotions are a part of your well-being, isn't it? Anxiety, fear, anger, depression, sadness. We all carry that from time to time. So when we're healing this, we're definitely healing that particular aspect or that particular emotion also of you. So that is why it becomes very important to heal these 5 organs, because you cannot just heal the body without healing the mental, emotional things what is attached to the body, isn't it?
True.
So that is why it becomes so very essential, and so many people, we have had 2 sessions so far of the 5-organ healing, and amazing testimonies.
That's amazing. I've got some more comments also from everyone. Oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of them. Jigna says it was awesome. Dr. Sheila says there is tingling in my legs. Dr. Radha says thank you, beautifully received. In fact, Jigna's asking, I instantly felt the pain in my stomach go away. She's shared that. Okay. That's fantastic, Jigna. How wonderful. Preeti says vibration in whole body, especially in my back and front heart chakra. Vijaya says feeling light. Thank you. Firoza said I started sweating. Does that mean something, Vijay?
Yeah, she's carrying some things, and then that particular thing is got released in the form of sweat.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Nishi says, thank you so much, Vijay ji. Pooja says, thank you. Some relief in my shoulder and my feet pain as well. How wonderful. Aruna says, thank you. And V says, I'm feeling a little headache. Is that something?
It is some resistance probably. See, when you get a headache after you receive healing, so generally it is at that time that probably the soul is resisting that healing. The inner core is not ready to accept the healing. So in that conflict, you get a headache. So that will go away over a period of time.
Okay. Preeti says, thank you so much. Feeling so peaceful and relaxed. And she says, though I have a little migraine and I wanted it to be healed, that hasn't helped in that. Is it something that will have an immediate impact?
Let's take a couple of them and have a one-to-one healing.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll just come back to you, Preeti. I want to just highlight some of the other comments that have come in as well. Um, Depanata says, felt throbbing waves in my forehead and also felt three yagna chakra vibration, feeling light, gratitude. Shweta says, little heavy in the heart, and feet are really warm.
Heavy in the heart is relationship issues.
Ah, okay, all right, okay. So that's an indication that that's what needs healing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just there's a whole bunch of them coming in. Let me just scroll through. Vidhi says, I always see a blue light going in circles when I try to focus. The circle is blue outside and very deep blue, black in the middle. What does this mean?
I don't know, because I have not had any first-hand experience of speaking to her.
Okay.
So probably when I speak to her, I might get an indication as to what it is.
Meeta says she's burping quite a bit and she feels there's a lot of gas. Is that something that...
It needs to be released, yes. And that, see, all these things, they are showing that, like, I think somebody said that the heart was heavy. So it is holding on. The heart is holding on to the anxiety, the nervousness within.
Okay.
And that is coming from the relationships. Now, when there is a stomach thing which is getting healed, so the stomach also stores fear, and the spleen stores the anxiety. The stomach and the spleens are connected to each other, so that stores anxiety. So a lot of anxiety in spleen is released, and that is why the stomach. So if you see, the connections are there, absolutely. And when a particular thing is there, like you have a particular like heartache was there, which was not there before. So the inner thing is being brought to the surface now at the body level.
Okay.
So it shows that that there is already something which is stored in the heart now that has come up to the physical level. Okay. So that is how people feel that, okay, my five organs are absolutely okay, and in the test, the medical test, nothing is there as such, but it is there at an auric level. So it is going to come up all of a sudden one day, or it will come up slowly and steadily. But it will come, because if it has come at the auric level, it has to come up at the body level at some time or the other.
Okay, that makes sense. Veejay, Manisha says, thank you so much for the healing. Lots of release, feeling lighter. There's a gentleman, Veejay, who says, I did not have any feeling. Does that mean there is any barrier?
See, there are some people who are not who probably are not able to make out as to there is a difference in our state of being. Yeah. So healing has gone to everybody. So it is not it is not that if he's not experienced something, so he's not received the healing. He's got the healing. Probably that healing might show up in a different form.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and we can see also from the different reactions and the different comments, we can see that it has come out in different manner for everyone. Arpana says, felt muscle twitching in my back and something leaving through my legs. They were tingling. And Deepanata has come back saying there's slight pain in the eyebrow region. Okay, so we're going to take on a couple of people. I do want to share with everyone that we'll take on a couple of people in a bit to do some pain healing as well. So just hang on. But we want to hear a little bit more, Veejay, about how the 5 organs can help enhance overall health, and not just these organs. How do they, and of course, how do they decrease the emotional issues that we may be facing?
Yeah, so when we heal through this methodology that I use in the 5 organ healing, it not just heals at the physical level, it also heals at the psychic level or the auric level. So when we heal that, we are healing the body organ and we are healing the emotion connected to that organ. I'm healing that because The people coming in, they just have to sit and receive the healing. That's all. So when we're catering to both of them, so we are actually trying to break that loop between the organ and the emotion.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, and of course, as I said, these five emotions are our primary state of existence: anxiety, sadness,
True.
depression, nervousness. So, so once we heal that, definitely you will find that there is a lot of comfort level as far as these emotions are concerned. Probably tomorrow, if something is happening, and that state, that situation is coming where you might become angry, you will see that the anger is less. So that shows that anger has been healed, it has been released. So the same way, when we heal these five organs, they constitute they are the energy points. The Chinese say that they are the energy points of the whole body. So as these five organs are healed, automatically you will feel so much more lighter in even in the thoughts, because the emotions have been healed, and in the body as well, because the organs have been healed.
Okay. Okay.
And of course, there is a 21-day process. There is a 21-day homework, a couple of simple things to be done. And as you go on doing that, it enhances all the more further.
Fantastic. So, shall we do a couple of quick pain relief demonstrations? Because I think there are quite a few people who have some pain issue or the other.
Yeah.
Before that, Vijay, I'll just ask you one quick question. If somebody's feeling like throwing up, is there something that they can do?
Yeah. If you feel like puking, definitely.
What should they know? What should we suggest to them to do as a quick remedy that they can easily do by themselves? Is there something?
No, nothing as such. Let them go by whatever the natural flow of the body is, because all the bodies, they react in different ways. No?
So if they feel like throwing up, they should go ahead and throw up.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. I hope, Meeta, that helps you. All right. So I'm going to request people who have any aches and pains, if you'd like to try Vijay's technique, do share on the group, and we'll take a couple of people on. I have a question in the meantime, Vijay. Aruna's asking, I have digestive tract problems, bloating of the stomach, and a lot of acidity. And I think she's been facing this for some time. Can this be cleared with this healing, with this 5-organ healing technique?
It will help you. Now, whether that can be cleared or not, it all depends, because I cannot commit anything, because in healing, you can never commit as to what is going to happen. But yes, certainly, why not? Because this is very specific. It is very specific. It is about the organs. So it is going to help you to what extent that nobody can comment. It's all in the divine hands.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Sheila is asking, she has fibromyalgia, and therefore, like, her whole body is in a lot of pain, I think. Is this something that can help her?
The 5-organ healing will help her, definitely.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, let's look at some. I'm going to request the team to share with me some names from the group. Whoever's having any aches and pains, do share with us on the group, and we'll take you on. I'll just quickly check. Okay. I think there was somebody. I think that Dipanita had said that
there was someone who was having a headache, I think.
Yeah, she had pain in her eyebrow area. Let's take her off. Okay, let me just unmute Dipanita.
Do you still have the pain, or is it gone now?
I think she still had it, because she said I have it in my eyebrow area. Hi, Dipanita.
Yeah. Good evening. I still have the pain out here in the eyebrows region.
Okay. And how much do you rate this pain on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest?
Down. Just after the meditation, it was like throbbing pain. Now it's there, but it has come down. And during the session, there was a throbbing wave in entire forehead. And even in the third eye, there was vibration.
Yeah, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. I think let's not do anything with the pain. It's a part of the healing. Let the energy sink in. Let's not do anything with this. Let the energy sink in. It's a good sign.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa.
And Vijay, that it also will just ebb away in the next
Absolutely.
couple
Yes.
of hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Deepanata, do let us know on the Telegram group if you still have it even after a little while. Do let us know on the Telegram group, and we'll help you out. Yeah. All right. V, who is I think Charu on the on Zoom. Let's take her on. She had also mentioned that she had a headache. Just see if we can unmute. Hi, Charu.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I hope your
Great.
headache is not too bad.
Yeah, it is a little bit of headache on side, and as well as I have a little shaky breath.
So this has happened just after the healing, or you had it?
No, it just happened after the healing. I know I have a lot of constraints, and I release every day. I do my release exercise and everything. It is a repeated pattern that happens with me in relationships and everything, and it pulls me back every time, and I release it every time. But then I again pull it back. So I think because of that, there is some still that is going on as of now. As you can hear my breath also, it is a little shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it in the relationships you're holding on to?
I don't have a very good relationship as in terms of with my father. So there's this childhood memories and all that I cannot release because every time I meet him, so it pulls me back. So then I release it. I try to make it a normal relationship, but then every time something happens, I go into that zone. So this is one thing, and because of this, my health is really going bad. So I have a blood infection, which is not getting. No doctor is able to cure that, and there is no reason for that blood infection also. So this has been last 6-8 months now.
How's your relationship with your mother?
I have a very close relationship with my mother, but yes, my mother was a very subtle lady. She did not express herself, and I thought, as in my childhood, that I will not be that way. But then I grew up that way itself. So yes, that pattern is repeating also with me.
So the blood thing which you're having is related mainly to relationship with your mother.
Okay.
On the face of it, you're feeling that the relationship with your mother is quite okay or quite good. But then because of that, this blood thing, the infection, which is there mainly because of that actually.
Okay.
So satellite relationship with your mother as well. Of course, with your father, though you know it, you need to do it, but with your mother as well.
But then I'm very close to my mother. I talk to her each and everything, and we both discuss everything together. I really care for her. She really cares for me a lot. This is one thing that she really cares a lot, and somewhere she feels that whatever is happening in my life is if she could have been a better person to handle it more better, so that means I wouldn't have faced all that whatever I faced in my life.
What is it that you don't like about him?
No, I just she should have been more courageous and more backbone for me.
So I'll
This
tell
is
you
one
what.
thing.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
When we say that the relationships, I care for my parents or I care for a particular relationship, I stay with them, I take care.
Yeah.
That is not the validation of a good relationship or of a relationship being completely clean.
Okay.
There is something which you will always not like about a particular person.
Yeah.
And when you talk about a particular person, it can be any parent, it can be spouse, it can be children.
Yeah, I understand.
And what you don't like about that particular person, if you get deeper into the spiritual in a spiritual journey, you'll get to know that you are that. And in shamanism, it is called the shadow self. So the thing which you are not accepting about your mother, you have that trait in you.
Yeah.
And when you heal that particular trait, automatically the relationship with your mother starts getting all right. And of course, through our method of forgiveness, also a lot of improvement can come in healing that particular relationship.
Okay.
What you don't like about your mother is going to come in your life as a life situation. what you don't like about your father is going to come back in your life as a life situation. So life is shouting out and telling you that you have not resolved this particular issue with your father, or this is one or two or three issues which you have not resolved with your mother.
Yeah.
So look into doing forgiveness with both your parents one by one. Forgiveness cannot be done at a collective level. I'm doing it
Yeah.
with both, one by one.
Yeah.
And you can just close your eyes. I'll give you healing now, and see how you feel.
Okay.
Just close your eyes. And slowly come back to your normal state, and you can open your eyes.
Yeah.
How are you feeling in the breath and the headache?
Yeah, it is better. It is better. Definitely it is better. Definitely it is better.
So look into the root cause. Work on relationship with both your parents.
Yeah. Okay.
There are other issues as well which you're carrying, but then, of course,
I
if you
understand.
hmm,
I myself is an occult, into occult, and I'm a tarot reader. So I totally understand all these things. So yes, but then I am not able to resolve it for myself. That is also true. Yeah.
thanks, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Neev.
much,
Thank you.
Charu.
Thank you, Ruchira. Thank you.
Thanks. That's in fact, in this Love and Health Tele Summit, Vijay, we've had, I've seen, I think, just on the calls that even just the ones that I've hosted, I've seen there are so many healers who also face, despite being healers themselves, they face, because I think we're all humans. And so we tend to face universal issues with relationships, with, with health, with finances. And like they say in, like traditionally also there's a saying, physician can't heal thyself. I think even healers, it's difficult for them to heal themselves. Sometimes you do have to go out and seek that help from others. And there's so much, considering that there's so much knowledge and techniques, and there's so many options, and so many wonderful, other different variety of routes to take. It's it's a pity if you are just limited to the ones that you know yourself. All right, I'm going to quickly check. There was Priya as well, I think, who had mentioned that she had some pain. Let me just check if we can unmute her. Let me just check if that's the same name on Zoom as well. Charles says, thank you so much. I totally feel much better and relieved. Gratitude.
Thank you, Charu.
All right. There's also Soma. I can't see Priya, so we'll take on Soma. Um, I think there is, just check. Soma, is your name different on Zoom? Do let us know on Telegram what it is so we can unmute you. Yeah. All right. Okay. Maybe we can take on some people after we share the details of the workshop as well. Vijay, is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let me just share my screen and then we can take everyone through quickly. Can everyone see my screen?
I can.
Great. All right. So of course, it's Neev, the roots, heal organs, heal pain, relationships, all from the root causes. Take us through, Vijay, of course, the key aspects of Neev.
Okay. So the healings which we use in Neev are 3 or 4 different types of healings. One is sun healing. Of course, one is Buddha healing, which we just did. There in the workshop, it's in a different format. And we use light language healing, which is of course very popular. And Kavita ji, she's very famous for her light language healing. So a couple of sessions she would be taking, and there would be light language healing. Okay. And there is going to be ancestral healing, wherein we appease our ancestors. So till the time the ancestors are not appeased, nothing can happen much in our lives. So, and many people, they have ancestral issues, and especially with the Rahu and the Ketu changing axis or something in astrology, something is there now. So the ancestors' blessings become lot very important and very dear to us to help us resolve our issues. Mm-hmm. And of course, there is the sun healing from the perspective that there is a chakra balancing, and the chakra balancing is going to be done with the sun energy. Now, the sun is 1,000 colors. The sun is a 1,000 colored larva. And these 1,000 colored larvae, when you actually connect to the sun and when you get the energy from the sun and the chakra balancing in that way, it's really a very beautiful experience. So we're going to do that as well throughout in the sessions. And this is healing at a very deeper level, at the core level. And prevention, yes, so that the situation does not repeat. And you will see that when you heal a particular relationship, that relationship remains healed. That is what is important. So 2000, more than 2,000 people now have benefited since 2020, since the time the lockdown started. And a lot of people have benefited from these sessions.
That's incredible. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so the package A is 14 live sessions. Package is 9 live sessions. And these 9 group sessions, they consist of, so the second package is the package B, which of course includes package A. So there are a total of 14 sessions in that. Mm-hmm. Can we have the next screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 of these sessions out of these 9 are 1.5 hours, and then 3 sessions are 1 hour. Right? And this is what all we have in the package. The 5 organ healing, the healing of heart, lungs, spleen, liver, and kidneys. It's a beautiful, beautiful process, this 5 organ healing. Then there is 1 relationship healing. So you can pick up any 1 relationship with whom you're not doing that good, or which is really bothering you. And we heal with the ancient RR method, which we just discussed. That is the relive and relieve method. We look into how the life imprints are formed, why there are relationships, some relationships which are so challenging, why are there health issues, and from where do they come? Mm-hmm. And why are there challenges in relationships, or why are the challenges in the health front? Then there is this beautiful, very intensive process, the SS method, and this SS method is called the Samskar Shuddhi, which is a very ancient method, which was used even by the enlightened masters to actually, when they were in their journey. This is also called the present past regression in these times. Then we have appeasing our ancestors. We learn a very beautiful and a very simple ritual to appease our ancestors. And this is a very powerful ritual, let me tell you. And we look into the 12 life lessons. Now, there might be people who say, oh, I've done a lot of forgiveness, but the things are still not happening. So in all probability, it might be that you have not learned the lesson which is coming through that relationship. So what the 12 life lessons are and how to go about to learn that. Then we are going to look into.
So I'll just interrupt you there, Vijay. The 12 life lessons. So if I haven't learned a lesson and I keep having, the same, like I think somebody had mentioned that they go from one relationship to another, but the same pattern repeats with them. And that means that there is some life lesson that they haven't learned, right?
It can be a life lesson that they haven't learned, or it can be a previous incompletion that is just being carried on to the relationship.
Okay. All right. So how the 12 life lessons you mentioned here, are those like just universal standard lessons that?
No, they are not standard for everybody. Everybody would have different life lessons. Probably the 12 which you have, I might have 3 from them and I might have 9 different. Okay. So that way.
And so how do we find out what are the 12?
So we educate. There is a whole 1.5 hour session dedicated to the life lesson, wherein you get a lot of information, you get a lot of understanding about what life lessons are, and then you detect that. Quite a few of them they detect in the workshop itself, in the session itself. They detect 1, 2, 3 life lessons. That yes, this is happening because of this. So you get to the root basically, and when you learn these life lessons, then there can be a change.
Okay.
So that's what is about the life lessons.
Okay. I had another question. You mentioned life imprints. What are life imprints?
Life imprints are kind of the soul imprints or the soul contracts which you get. And these are a part of your DNA because these are embedded as DNA in you. So life is going to basically follow that imprint only till the time you don't get to the roots and you do not heal them. Life is going to go in the same way. So you need to change these imprints, and which happens through processes.
Okay. All right. That clears it.
So we get into relationships. What are its connections? In fact, tomorrow also, in tomorrow's session, I'm going to take you a little bit into the connections of relationship. On the face of it, we all know right side of the body is, if it is affected, or if there is pain, discrepancies, any of the right side of the right part of the body, it is relationship with father that needs to be looked into. And on the left side, it is mother. So that is, we all know that, but there are quite a few things through which you get to know as to whether the relationship is absolutely okay or it is not okay. Many people on the face of it, they say, oh, my father-mother relationship is completely okay. If the father-mother relationship is absolutely okay, you would have been a super successful being till now. So definitely, because it is not, there is something which you need to look into. And then there is a beautiful Manas Puja. People have tears in their eyes doing this particular thing, and it's a divine experience. I can just say that it is to be experienced, and it cannot be explained in words. And of course, then we detect the life patterns. These are hereditary patterns from our ancestors. We detect that in the session. So all of this is covered in the 9 live sessions. That is the packaging.
Okay. Vijay, once you've detected your life imprints, you've detected your life patterns, and you've figured out some of your life lessons as well. What do you do with that?
Heal that.
Okay.
To clear that. If there are life lessons, you need to learn those life lessons. This earth is like a school. If you do not learn life lessons, you will be served the same in this birth and in the next birth also.
So it is to absorb it, to understand it, and
the most important, the most difficult thing is to detect them. And once you know how to detect them through a certain methodology, then at least you have detected them, isn't it? Then you have various ways and various healing methodologies or numerous things in which you can, because there are more than 90% people who today die even without knowing the root cause of their death. They say, okay, there was a heart issue. Okay, there was a heart issue, but then what? Isn't it? Why did the heart issue start at the first place? When did it start? Which were the incidents that this person is carrying within him? So that is where it is very important to reach the root causes.
Okay. All right. And of course, you have bonuses with this.
Yeah, so the call recording would be available for 48 hours. There are call recordings. Generally we don't have, but then this time I have kept call recordings for 48 hours. You can always, if you miss any particular session, you can always go back and you can go through the call recordings, and then the 30 days the WhatsApp group would be active, and if there are any support which is needed, it would be there for the group.
And I had a question, Vijay. In the group, everyone will have different life lessons, different relationship issues. How does it all get resolved? The technique, it remains the same to clear no matter which issue it is, or is it that the technique gets adapted to each one?
So in the session, for example, if we are in the life lesson session, I'm going to bring about as to what were my life lessons as a real-time experience. I'm going to bring about as to how you need to detect these life lessons. Now the life lessons would be different for everybody. So it depends on the individual as to how to go about and detect which are the life lessons. It is not necessary that all the 12 life lessons you're going to detect in the session itself. Some people, they detect 2, some people detect 4, some people, they go back with that understanding, and as a particular situation keeps repeating, then they get to know, oh yes, this is a particular life lesson. Yeah. For example, if there is someone who gets angry at the drop of a hat, again and again, so people are going to come in his life and they're going to press that button wherein he's going to get angry at the drop of a hat always.
Triggers.
So at that time, yeah. So at that time, it has to be understood, or it has to be looked into, that anger is a life lesson to be learned. Right. So that way there are various examples, various ways in which you can, but then whatever is your own self-worth, you have.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So the dates are as mentioned here. We start on the 28th of March, 28th, 29th, 30th, and then the 4th to the 9th of April. And the times are 8:30 India time. So this comes to total 12 hours.
Why is there a gap between the two?
The gap is for package B.
Okay. All right. All right.
So the usual price of this is 18,000 or 270 USD. And this comes in this particular telesummit at just rupees. Yeah, Ruchira, if you can bring it up. At just rupees 7,999. So in 7,999, effectively 8,000, you get nine group sessions, totaling to 12 hours. And these are like absolutely life-changing. All those who have done it, they would, you can go back, you can see the testimonies, and you can decide as to.
Yeah, this is amazing, Vijay. That's 56% off. And of course, this is only for 24 hours. You do have a demo call tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you're going to go a little bit deeper in the relationship space. Yes. But still, I mean, my God, this is a really, really beautifully designed package as well. So there's also package B, like Veejay said, because of as I asked about the dates. So let's share that too.
So coming quickly, package B consists of all what is there in package A. And apart from that, there are 5 extra sessions. So 3 sessions on the dates which were there, left as gap. That is, I think, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of April, I suppose. You can bring that on.
Yeah. I'll just take you. Okay.
Yeah.
That was here. The date, 2nd round of dates.
Yes. So
4th to the 9th April would be package B dates.
No, the 4th to the 9th April is package A only. The 28, 29, 30th, and 4th to 9th is package A.
Okay.
And can we move further?
Yeah. Let me just get.
Yeah.
Do you want to just take everyone through?
Yes. So the 5 sessions additional. Out of that, 3 sessions are basically, one session is a very, very important session of clearing negative energies. So here we clear psychic attacks, all the negative energies which you have, all the energies which you have got from negative people and negative relationships and things like that. So it is all in all about negative energy healing. And then there is also pain healing in this through light language. Then there is one more day, the second day here, the additional second day here is about herbs. There are quite a few herbs which help us in clearing the negative energies and helping us with relationships and in our health. So we're going to look into that. There are a few animal spirits, like I spoke about the parrot today. There are a few animal spirits who help us in this journey, and we'll be looking into those animal spirits, and connecting with them can help you in your journey as well. And there is a very beautiful, just a 3 minute or a 5 minute golden heart meditation, which will really help you enhance your state lifelong. And this is to be done every night just before you sleep. And you see how beautiful you will feel while you sleep, because the way you sleep, you always get up in the same state, right? And of course, the pain healing. So the 3 days are, the additional 3 days are into all these three things.
Okay.
Which is mentioned, three or rather five things here as mentioned. Chakra meditation, of course, with the sun energy, which I had just shared initially.
Mhm. Vijay, there are a couple of questions. And there's also, by the way, Dipanita has shared that feeling much better. The heaviness and pain in that eyebrow region has subsided completely. Gratitude. So wonderful to know that. Thank you for letting us know, Dipanita. Humi is asking, what if a person has shifts? That is one day morning shift and then the next day evening shift. How does one attend the sessions for package A? They have the replays for 2 days.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, Homi, you can watch the replays up to 48 hours basically after the call has happened. So, I hope that helps. Yeah. Okay. Shall I just go
Yeah,
to?
yeah, we can move on.
All
So,
right.
yeah, so there are two additional sessions. So package B consists of package A, and then these 5 sessions, 3 of which I have just mentioned. And there are 2 other sessions which are, number one is invoke the divine within. It's a really beautiful workshop wherein you invoke the divine within you. You invoke the God you worship in you, and it is to be experienced. I cannot. There are no words to share this particular thing. Uh, when you have the divine within you, it's such a beautiful feeling. So there is a 3 hour session which will take you into that.
That sounds
And
really lovely, actually.
yes, it is a beautiful thing. And of course, there is one more 3 hour session which is called the sacred sexuality.
Mhm.
And this is also a beautiful bonus with the package B. So these are 5 sessions which are there additional to package A, which are there in package B.
What is the sacred sexuality session?
That I will share tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Some things we have to keep for tomorrow.
All right.
It is basically the communion between the male and the female.
Okay. Okay.
It is the feeling of completeness within you.
Within us.
Yes.
How wonderful. How wonderful. Okay. I'm going to join tomorrow's call as well as a listener.
Always welcome.
All right.
So these are the additionals which are there in package B. So the dates which were, as Ruchira mentioned, what is there in those dates? There is package B. So if you're there in package B, you start the journey on the 28th till the 2nd, then 3rd is a Sunday and there is a break. And then from the 4th to the 9th. So for around 14 days, 13, 14 days, you're there in this absolutely life transforming journey, which you will cherish lifelong. And I can vouch for that. You can cherish lifelong. You will cherish lifelong. Of course, the dates of the invoke the divine within and the sacred sexuality would be mentioned as we move on in the sessions. And it would be either this month or the next month.
I like that, Vijay, you've put this as it's a 1 hour, 1.5 hour session. The timing is so nice. It's at the end of the day. I think just going through a process that helps you lighten and release is so wonderful to do at the end of the day.
Yes. And of course, this has been kept with an intent. The intent is basically when you end your day with that and when you sleep with that release,
Yeah.
then that goes deep in the subconscious mind.
Mm.
And then that stays So it is more effective if I'm doing the session from 8:30 to 9:30, rather if I would have done at 4:30 to 5:30 or something like that. So,
Okay. Okay, and tell us.
so 36,000 or USD 540 is the actual price for these sessions for package B, the 14 live sessions.
Yeah,
But then that is
special.
coming to you at only 11,999. So effectively 12,000 for the next 24 hours. So my recommendation is always package B. But go ahead and choose whatever appeals to you and whichever way you're guided, and move ahead in your journey, because this is going to be a really beautiful session. These are going to be 9 or 14 sessions. These are going to be beautiful sessions which are going to help you big time in your further journeys.
Yeah, I can totally see that. We've got some wonderful messages, Vijay. Meeta says, I'm feeling better now. She was the one who was feeling like throwing up, and she had some pain as well in her hand. I hope, Meeta, that has settled for you. Vidhi's asking, these sessions, are they just for self-healing, or will they be like a certification course that we can take up further as well?
No, this is not a certification course. This is a self-healing
So it's an experience. It's an
It is
experience that you're
experiential, of
having.
course, and then you have the tools wherein you continue your self-healing even after the workshop. So you get the tunes, you're attuned with those tools, and that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
I got Buddha healing out of nowhere just by healing my own self. So everything is within you. Once we heal ourselves, automatically the universe will send people to us whom we can heal. But the primary thing is that we need to heal ourselves first.
That's true. Vijay, Shweta's asking, would it help in conceiving a baby?
No commitment. I never commit anything. It is all in the divine hands. I'm just channel and just go through these sessions. If it does not help you in conceiving a baby, it is going to help you in probably 4 other things which the universe has chosen for you.
Okay.
Isn't it? So can't commit anything, but definitely the journey is worth it.
Okay. Shweta, I hope that answered your question. All right, let me just quickly check if there are any others. So we want to just share with everyone the recap of the 2 packages before you. So that's package A, which is, of course, 9 live group calls, total of 12 hours. So that's about an hour and a half each call. And that's going to address, so Vijay, that'll include the 5-organ healing. It'll include they can also have a relationship, a single relationship can be healed as well. And they can choose which relationship they want to heal.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, all those things that you would become aware of, your life imprints, your life lessons, key things that are important to complete your healing. Package B, of course, has 14 live group sessions. And I just want to take everyone back to a point, actually, Vijay, that you had mentioned earlier as well. In package B, the important part of healing negative energy. So psychic attacks and negative people that keep coming in and out of your life that you don't really realize sometimes, that have left their energy with you, a piece of their energy with you.
Yeah.
And how important is that? Could you tell a little bit about this? Because this is one of the principal aspects that complete your healing.
Yeah. So when we talk about healing the roots, how can the roots be healed without healing the negative energy? Right. So negative energy can come through various means, through various doors. Even if you keep cleansing yourself every day, negative energy is going to come in. The more you can keep cleansing, but it will come. It will come through different methods. It can come through probably just watching a TV, the Russian-Ukraine war, and through that negative energy can come in. It can change your have a shift in your state of mind. It can come through people who are negative when they come to you. And when you speak about so many healers, they are in this telesummit, which you all have come across as to healers are getting these things. So it is so many of these things are coming from the clients, isn't it? So our healing is, I always believe that our healing is always paramount, because if you are in a good zone, the universe is going to send people to you. But if there is a person who himself is struggling, then how can the universe send other people to you? Isn't it? So that is where negative healing clearing is really, really essential.
That's true. Okay, so we'll just recap again once more the two packages before you. There's package A that has the 9 live group sessions, and package B that has 14 live group sessions, a total of 22 hours. And all those tools are for you to use on a continuous basis, right? Or till you feel you are fully healed, right, Veejay?
Absolutely.
Great. And that's so package B is of course $180. That's 11,999 rupees. And package A is 7,999. That's $120. Of course, the team has also put in, you can upgrade from package A to package B with just 4,777. That's something they can do later, right?
Yes,
okay?
Yes, that is for later.
All right. Okay. Any issues with payments, etc.? Of course, you know that you can just message help@themysticlotus.com and the team will help you out. Do use the right links to pay. So all overseas listeners do use the US dollar payment links. And of course, listeners here can use any of the payment methods that are there already. We've got all of them. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I just wanted to let everyone know, Veejay is here tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. with some more particularly on relationship healing. And there's going to be a couple of demonstrations, etc. there as well, Veejay, that you're going to do. Do you want to share with them some last insights before we leave?
Nothing coming to my mind now. You take your call, go through it. You can take a call, go by your inner call as to which package you need to, should you wish to do this work with me, what you need to do. And tomorrow we will catch up for what the father relationship and the mother relationship. If there is a discrepancy, what happens? We're going to look into what is energy spill or energy leakage in relationships. And of course, we'll take up a couple of people who have relationship issues and heal them, and let's see what happens from there on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Veejay. Thank you everyone for joining us today. If you have any more questions for Veejay, if something comes up later, you're listening to the replay, something pops up, do share on the Telegram group. Veejay is around and so is the team to help answer these questions. So till then, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
God bless. Thank you.